Hi there everyone. I'd like to share my views on skin today. I've been thinking about this quite a bit because it's very cold here at the moment in southeast Kent. We're expecting snow. Hello Bowie. We're expecting snow tomorrow. So it's very cold, and I mean even last night I was sleeping in a balaclava. And it's made me think about skin because my skin's been a bit dry. I've been putting coconut oil on it and putting coconut oil in my hair too. So yeah, I want to talk about skin. It's the largest organ in the body and has three main functions, which is regulation, protection and sensation. And you know, it also gives us a lot of clues as to what's happening inside of ourselves. So if you look on the external bit and you see sort of like some dry skin anywhere, or if you have sort of like, say for example, if you have sort of like puffiness here, that might tell you that, you know, you're not getting enough iodine, or you know, there's certain things that you can look out for. I mean, if you have like pale lips, for instance, you might be a little bit lacking in something. Or I mean, there's so many different things. Like pale skin is usually a B12 deficiency, I think. What is that pale lips one? I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, iron. I think it's iron. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's iron. Anyway, they all tell us things. And then if you think about things like acne, eczema, psoriasis, warts, moles, what else is there, skin discoloration, like the funny coloured patches people get, varicose veins, all these things tell us things about what's going on inside our bodies. I remember actually, like, we're talking about varicose veins, when I was like in my early 20s, I got a thread vein like patch, and that I was really shocked because I thought, how can this be? I'm like really healthy, and I was thinking, I've got a good healthy heart, how can this possibly be? So it's not always heart related, it can just be from staying stationary for a long time. And I used to work on the shop floor in Harvey Nichols, so I mean that's where that came about, because it doesn't mean you have to be stationary sitting down, you can be stationary standing up. So that affects a lot of people that are standing up in the same place for a long time. Those people that work in shops and stuff. Anyway, it tells us a lot about what's going on inside us, our skin. So I was thinking, well, maybe I could come up with sort of 10 things that I think help us to look after our skin in the best way that we can. So these are my top 10 ways that I think we can really help our skin to look after ourselves. So I'm not going to be talking about things to put on the skin, because that's very different, because that can actually help it not do the reverse. It can sort of stop it breathing and things. But this is more about how to really look after that big organ, because the skin really it's like the biggest organ that we have. So the first thing I would like to talk about is obviously drinking lots of water, and it's quite obvious really, because we must drink sufficient amount of water to stay hydrated, and that if we don't drink enough then we'll be dehydrated and our skin will stand up when we pinch it, and we'll have a sort of a greyish complexion, and we'll be quite dull, and our hair will be dry and a bit brittle. I mean, you can tell people are a bit dehydrated. People that smoke a lot, they generally look pretty dehydrated. So we want to have good amount of water in our bodies, and we can test that if, you know, when we pinch our skin, if the skin stays up a bit, then we know that we're not getting enough. And if we're still drinking a lot, then we need to think, well, why are we not retaining that water? Why are we not keeping it in our bodies? What can we do in order to help ourselves? So it's about getting the awareness, first of all. So, you know, also when we're drinking enough, it means that our body is able to absorb nutrients in a better way. And so that if you're not hydrated, you're not going to be able to, your body's not going to be functioning in its best optimum way. Number 2 is exercise and to sweat. It's not enough to exercise without getting a sweat. You want to have the sweat because you want it to come through the pores. You want to open up your pores and release toxins, get them out of your skin. It's the easiest way to get rid of toxins is to sweat them out. But if you're not exercising, you're not going to be able to sweat them out. Yes, sure, you can do the odd sauna and steam room and things like that, but some people can't, or some people have to be very mindful if they do, because if you've had any kind of lymph clearance, in my instance I've had auxiliary lymph clearance, you have to be very careful because they recommend that you don't go into high temperatures like that because you can get seroma and stuff, so you have to be very careful about the way you go about it. Therefore, it's better to get something like a rebounder and commit to at least 2 minutes per day, up and down, so that you're working your lymphatic system. So if you think about it, like your heart has a pump which pumps the blood all around the body for you, but your lymphatic system only can work with movement. So you have to be moving, you have to move around. So get yourself some nice exercise. So the rebounder will really help to move yourself about, but you also want to make sure you get a sweat on. So I mean, I like the cross trainer because that way I can also get that movement that I would get from the rebounder, but if I really push myself on that, then I can get a sweat on too. And then I know that I've also opened up my pores and flushed out some toxins, which is good, and also it gives you this nice glow, raises the blood to the skin and stuff, so that makes you feel good, and that's good for your skin because you're exercising your skin. So that's number 2. The number 3, vitamin C. Now I think everybody knows how important it is to have vitamin C. It's something that we've always been told, I think, since childhood, how important it is. Obviously there's different types of vitamin C. There's the synthetic type of vitamin C, which you don't really want because your body can't assimilate it and absorb it properly. So you want to make sure you get the right vitamin C. And certainly with cancer patients, there's a lot of people that will take vitamin C injections. I know of a few people that have done that or do that even, but I personally just eat and drink a lot of citrus, a lot of lemon water, a lot of oranges. I eat a lot of oranges and I get through a lot of lemons. In fact, Dr. Max Gerson, founder of Gerson therapy, before he developed the Gerson therapy further to how it is today, I think it's still been changed a little bit today since he's passed on, but he first of all began with just citrus. So citrus has got a lot of power. That's vitamin C. So up your vitamin C and make it good vitamin C. Ideally, we want to get as many vitamins in their natural source as possible. So, but supplement them if you feel you need to. And if you're a smoker, you're going to need more vitamin C because smoking cancels it out. So up your vitamin C. Number 4, antioxidants. Well, antioxidants will help your skin to stay nice and healthy, and so you want to be thinking like getting nice leafy greens and spinach. You definitely want to get those into your body. In fact, all fruit and vegetables are really good. They all are just what you need in your body. The more of those, the better. They should be the first thing that goes onto the plate before anything else. They should be at the top of what you put onto your shopping list. So, things that have a high life force. So say, for example, fruits which have been sitting on trees and had the sunshine are going to be the best type of thing to energize your system. So get plenty of antioxidants. Number 5, vitamin A. Well, we were always told, like, oh, you must have your carrots and you'll be able to see in the dark and all of this sort of thing. Well, vitamin A is really good for repairing the skin. So whilst we're looking after it, we also have to make sure it's in its best possible way that it can repair itself. So you want to have lots of carrots and sweet potato, these orange ones. They really help, and they will benefit you and give you that vitamin A without having to take a pill. So also, you know, in leafy greens as well. I mean, leafy greens are just perfect for us. Number 6, selenium. Now, selenium is a trace mineral, and this helps to protect the skin from damage from free radicals. My mother taught me about the importance of selenium years ago. She used to always have 3 Brazil nuts at the start of every single day. She didn't activate them though. I don't think she knew about activating them. So you want to have 3 Brazil nuts, for instance. They are high in selenium, and they're vegan, obviously, because they are a nut. It's better, obviously, to always have a whole food rather than taking a supplement form if you can, because you don't always know how those supplements are made and how they're being put together. So, you know, activate some Brazil nuts and then have 3 per day if you feel you need it. It also helps to reduce age spots. So it's really good for your skin, really good. Now 7. This is something that I learned about when I first started doing Gerson therapy, because it was on our list of supplements that we had to take, and that's coenzyme Q10. It's a powerful antioxidant. It's something that you do need to take supplementation from, because you probably won't get enough from the foods that you eat. It helps protect the skin and the immune function, and enhances energy. If you look up Dr. Stephen Sinatra, he's a cardiologist in the States, and he does a lot of work with Q10. In fact, he was the first person, I think, to use Q10 with his patients after it was discovered by another scientist whose name escapes me, I'm afraid. And also the other reason why I particularly like Dr. Stephen Sinatra is that he also really champions earthing and grounding, which I believe is really important for the body. Anyway, it's a really good for the gut health too. So coenzyme Q10, very good for immune function, good for the heart, good for the skin. Okay, vitamin E, number 8, anti-inflammatory. I think there's so many creams out there on the market that say with vitamin E, with vitamin E. You see loads and loads of people, I mean loads of different creams on the shelves that all say that they have that in there, which is a big clue that it must be great for our skin. So yes, you can find this in things like spinach. There's lots of spinach, has so many different things that are good for us. Olives. So yes, get your vitamin E in. And of course you can get supplements if you want, but if you can try and find natural sources, go for that. Much better. Number 9, essential fatty acids. Oh, this is an interesting one, because I think a lot of the time people think that it can only come from things like cod liver oil and fish oils and stuff like this, but you know that's not true. You can get omega-3 and omega-6 in other ways. So you know, this basically will maintain your skin's natural oil barrier, and it protects against the dry skin. So things like crushed flax seeds, walnuts, seaweed, these are all great for you. These are really, really great for you. These are healthy, great vegan alternatives. and they work. Now, if you're still getting dry skin and you're taking those supplements, like when I say supplements, you're actually like having ground flaxseed in the morning, or you're having ground walnuts and having seaweed scattered onto your salads and stuff, you're still getting dry skin, then you just want to check that you are digesting your food correctly, because if you're not, then that's going to be why. And if you're not digesting your food properly, then you need to look into that, and you need to come to a solution there, which involves detoxifying the body. That's what you would need to do in order to. That's why buying supplements is of absolute no use to anybody unless you're digesting your food properly. If you're going to the loo and your stools are not the way they should be formed, you're not digesting your food properly. So don't bother paying lots of money for supplements, because it will be of no use to you. Anyway, digress. So yes, number 9, essential fatty acids. And then finally, number 10 is green tea. And the reason I want to put this one on my list is because I drink a lot of green tea. I start my day every morning with a matcha green tea. And I love green tea. I think it's really good for the skin, really good for the body. I also think it's really good for removing inflammation. So if you brew up some green tea and you pop it into the fridge with a cold, like with a flannel, and let that absorb into it, then you can take that and use it as a pack to bring down swelling that you might have, or if you've got like a bit of a red face for whatever reason, or where you've got a scar, for instance, and if it's a bit raised or red, you can place that there. Or if you've hurt your ankle or anything like this, that will reduce inflammation. So it's so quick and easy to use. And if you drink a lot of green tea like I do, you've always got a remedy to help reduce inflammation like this that you have at home, which is natural and effective. So those are my 10 things to help our skin and to look after and support and nourish our skin. And thank you very much for watching. Cheers.